Hi, Dr. Saxena here, and I'm going to talk on something called very simple thing, which pertains to the present problem, and we need to understand this as a whole, so that we can really can do some changes and all. Or yes, I'm talking about something called common cold. And when I talk about this common cold, I need to tell you that this common cold is the one of the commonest thing which has been prevalent since years. And for some reason we are now that common cold. Anybody having that cold, anybody having that fever and nasal catara and all that, and that's being dreaded. It is not being allowed inside and all that. We need to understand what is this at common cold, which has happened for years now, and how effectively it was dealt with. There are basically, when I talk about cold, common cold, it is because of viruses. We have something like three specific, I think more than 40 adenoviruses are responsible for 5% of the common cold infections. And coronavirus was responsible for 10% of the common cold infections, which was in the east. I am talking about the peer-reviewed studies and all that. We the now the variant which has come is the COVID-19. That is a new thing entity for us, and now we are following mutant strains. And the other viruses which were involved was parainfluenza virus. You have got something like respiratory syncytial virus, which is called RSV infection. It was approximately 10% of the infections were RSV induced, 20% were parainfluenza, and adenoviruses I have told you. And the most important thing was the rhinovirus. Rhinoviruses were the most common cause of common cold, and it was accounting for more than 50% of the common cold infections. So we now know everything about common cold, how the kind of halitosis, bad breath is coming, you have got fever, you have got inflammation. I know a school student, also ninth grader, can also write down few good notes, essay about this particular virus. I just want you people to understand what are the things which can be done if you are having this common cold. Yes, in fact, I just want you to book up your notes. Try to make notes of this particular stuff, because this what I am talking about will make much sense. And we understand the development of common cold, a cold virus deposited in front of the nasal passages by any contaminated fingers or droplets from cough or sneeze. Now we are talking about airborne infection. And this is see, there is such a minute kind of thing. Small dose of virus, 1 to 30 particles, can also cause a infection. You need not have to have a magnitude of this one. So when I talk about 1 to 30 particles, if you sneeze, you get millions of particles and all that. So what happens is that from the front of the nasal passages, it is transported to the back of the nose and into the adenoid area by the nose itself. There you are, where you have got a ciliary movement which starts moving across like that. So the virus then attaches to the receptor, which is called ICAM1, located on the surface of the nose cells. So you have got the receptors, they fit into that particular stuff. Now we are talking about the virus which has got the spike proteins and all, and it gets into that particular system. And so as all the other common cold viruses, this also behaves in some kind of thing. So everything has got a simple thing. We believe the kind from the time a common cold virus enters the nose, it takes 8 to 12 hours for the viral reproductive system to get complete, and new common cold viruses to be released in the nasal secretion. So it's a very proliferative mechanism, and it works in kind of thing, tandem. And so this is how you develop big symptoms after 36 to hours to 72 hours. The symptoms last for a few days, and usually we used to follow up for 2 weeks or something like that, and that was the thing what I'm talking about the common cold. Now the things have changed, but essentially COVID-19 is also a common cold. You have to bear that in mind. And what are the substances which I believe can prevent the common cold or alleviate them are as follows. One thing is the capsicum. Capsicum is a very commonly used in India, and we use a lot of chili, particularly being a part of South Indian family. I believe we used to lot of capsicum, and this is people have to start looking into it, because people have still people doesn't want to that they are the kind of things what you are eating is a very bland kind of things with refined sugars and all that. You start with the day with your oats, cornflakes and all that. These things are to be, for the time being, you need to look into this chilies and all that. That will make a big difference. There is a derivative of garlic. If you use garlic, that there's a derivative called alanine, and which is alleviates the symptoms of common cold. Thing is, we have been speaking about all these things, zinc, how zinc helps and all that. Sometimes common cold can be a symptom of iron deficiency anyway as well. Zinc lozenges, I definitely go yes to that particular thing. Particularly, I would like to go for zinc acetate is my thing of choice when I talk about zinc here. 13 to 15 milligrams of zinc per day every 2 hours also can be used as a lozenges to abort that process of viral replication. You have got some polyphenols in the sleeve. Their polyphenols are very good. Something like quercetin, it's available in most of the superfoods. Quercetin is an amazing thing. It has the ability to suppress the rhinovirus that causes the common cold. And we do believe that if you have got this good polyphenols and all that, from zinc and polyphenols, you have got sulfur compounds, you have some vitamins. Vitamin C is the one thing we have been talking a lot on this. Vitamin C is one thing, and vitamin A also. So these are the two things which probably increase the resistance of common cold and may exert direct antiviral effects also. So take my word, it's a very simple thing. Vitamin A and vitamin D combination, you have such a powerful cod liver oil and all that, and if you can use this particular thing, it makes a kind of difference. Along with vitamin D3, that's also one of the things. Other foods and herbs which can prevent and alleviate this common cold. It can be some beverages also. So I would first like to go for the most commonly used thing in metal toxicology. We used chlorella. Chlorella is one of the best particular thing which there's a green food, any green kind of food, you can always go for it. Or we call it, there are different things which come in our this one, and I believe that is the chlorella. The best part of chlorella is its ability to stimulate the interferons. You don't have to give the interferon injections here. So by that, this chlorella is one of the superfoods. We really helps in this common cold kind of stuff. I talk about something like red wine, and where there is a thing called resveratrol which helps. Consuming 2 glasses of red wine also is known to reduce that kind of intensity and all that. There's a 40% reduction in the incidence of common cold by consumption of this red wine. Propolis B, propolis is one thing which I have been told about this one by my other friend. I said, but this is working out quite well. And apart from that, you have got something like which is very commonly available, which is lemon and grapefruit, and you can always use that to alleviate the symptoms of common cold. You have got herbs, number of things are there, right from the andrographis, astragalus, you have got berries, you have got chamomile, you have got I can name lemongrass, lemon balm, olive leaf, you have got St. John's wort, you have got something like and the best thing which I think I have been talking a lot about, that chicken soup works phenomenally well. It helps in clearing that mucus impaction. So you should always, whenever you have this common cold, try to use this chicken soup, and which can always help you relieve that mucus congestion out there. And this is a very commonly old, this one regarded as an old wives' tale, and even the modern medicine also has validated that. Thing is, effectively, the other thing what I would like to look is coming back to this one is activated charcoal. Activated charcoal may accelerate the recovery of the common cold, I use activated charcoal in a lot of stuffs, and I believe this is one of the good things. And apart from that, you can always use some oils, particularly like eucalyptus oil. You can always use some lavender oil, and see, in temporary inhaled also can give you that nasal congestion gets reduced, and it makes a phenomenal difference. You have got oregano oil as well, you have got shark tea tree oil. These are the things which you always try to look into that. And apart from that, there is something called grapeseed oil, which I am quite confident about this particular thing. And garlic, I think I have told about this garlic. So these are the lot of options you have got in your home. You don't have to get up and go to the medical shop to get that. And if you can understand what are the symptoms and how things are happening with that, if you can go by this particular logic, looking at how we can, so we can always tackle this common cold problem, and we will not allow that common cold to get into a situation called pneumonia. So always act early, look into that things. There needs, you need this common knowledge to deal with the nasty problems what we are facing these days. Thank you.